Hello students, this is part 3 of the video for the lesson onto the summit we reached the top. So in the previous video we have seen how Tenzing Norgay on reaching the summit of Mount Everest had carried some offerings to the god and goddesses for thanking them as they protected him throughout his journey. Not only him, but he also carried the offering sent by his daughter, one of the most precious thing that she possessed, that is a little blue pencil, and how he shared the joy with Edmund Hillary. Let us continue with the lesson now. Below, all the hills and mountains look like gods and goddesses to me. So now Tenzing Norgay tells his experience of how he felt when he reached on the summit and what was the scene like. We all have seen it in pictures, but to really be there on that point is a really different thing. Okay, so he describes to the people how those mountains looked like for him, and he compares them to god and goddesses because they were so serene, so pure, and so heavenly. And the plains look like so many broken pieces of the map because he was standing on the topmost point of the surface of the earth. So he could see like literally everything from that point. So then he tells that that summit, or the topmost point of Mount Everest, was a place which was not very wide. Only two or three people could stand there on the roof of the world if you cut ice. 20 or 30 feet below the top, if you see, then there was flat land enough so that two people could sleep over there. Other than that, everything was a steep slope. Okay, so like little bit down, like 30 feet down, a place was enough for them to pitch a tent or something like that. Otherwise you cannot expect more than one person standing on the mountain at a time. Then the summit is flat on one side, as you can see here in the picture, and steep on the other. There is snow on the northern side, rocks on the south and east, and snowy rock on the west. Okay, then we stayed. Now, since they had reached this point after so many attempts and after so much of hard work, they decided to stay there for a little more time, and little more than 15 minutes. Actually, they were very lucky because they could spend that much time over there. As I told you earlier, this was the highest point on the surface of the earth. And even when we go on the plateaus or hills or mountains, small ones over here, while trekking or something, we can experience how strong winds, they push you backwards and forward. So here they were at the topmost point, so you can imagine how forceful the wind must be. But they were very lucky enough that that day, or that on that particular moment, the wind was not that strong enough and they could spend that much time over there. So there was no gale as in strong wind. Okay, or else they would have been swept off from the mountain easily. Okay, because there was nothing to hold on to. Then after reaching there, the next thought that came into his mind was, we have climbed up, but now how do we get down safely? Because as difficult it is to climb up, that much difficult it is to get down. So on the descent from the summit, I was walking behind Hillary. So first was Edmund Hillary, and then uh, Sherpa Tenzing Norgay, and he was following him and holding the rope tightly. Again here, because they didn't want each of them to fall or slip from the mountain. So his determination was to make sure that he descended safely. Okay, but he tells us, okay, from his experience, that the climb down was more difficult and dangerous than climb up. See, as you can see in the picture here, okay, one person is forward and the other one is backward. And he says that climbing down is all the more dangerous than climbing up. Because if you slip by chance, then you would definitely go into a glacier which is known as the Kangshung Glacier. And if you get in there, there will definitely be no trace left of you. Nobody will be able to ever find you. Okay. So, of course, now he felt that there was more caution needed. Okay, they had to be all the more careful. So, it took less time climbing down, of course, but you needed to be hushar, that is cautious. Okay, when they reached, after then they started climbing down slowly, and of course, they reached Camp 9. And the first thought that he had in his mind after reaching that place was, thank God we have been spared an accident. Okay, and if up to now there have been no accidents, then definitely there will be no accidents in future, because they had endured the most dangerous part of mountain climbing. Okay, and they had been successful by the grace of God. So he knew that from here on the journey was quite easier than the journey before, and so with the journey now they will have no more accident. So he always prayed to God, and he had saved, because he had saved him. Okay, so here another thing is most important: no matter how successful or how unsuccessful you are, my dear students, always you must have the presence of God in your life. Okay, and that is definitely going to lead you to have a better life. You must never give up, or never lose hope, or never lose faith in your God. He is definitely going to be there to help you in all the times. Okay, so now he tells us his experience at Camp 9. What happens here is Hillary and they were in no mood for any talking, because, of course, they were very exhausted, and they were very tired, or maybe they must be hungry or thirsty, or if they do so, then they might feel hungry or thirsty. So they just attended to their own things. Okay, they pitched a tent and they stayed there for about a half an hour. They took some rest. Then, as Tenzing Norgay told us that he was thirsty earlier. So what he did is they just boiled some snow to make lemon water, okay, so that they could get some energy, and they drank it. Okay, after leaving from there, they took only their sleeping bags. Okay, and left everything else behind, of course, because they did not need anything else now. Almost they were retreating back, so only their sleeping bags they took along with them. Rest everything they left, so that they had less of weight along with them. Then from Camp 9 to Camp 8, where they spent the night, it was an easier job. Just above Camp 8, where the others could see us, there were other people, group of people. As I told you, there were this, it was a group that climbed the mountain, and only few who could go ahead. So Tenzing Norgay and Edmund Hillary now had reached the top, and they were coming back. So the group was waiting for them at Camp 9. And as they were coming closer, and as Tenzing Norgay could see them, he just waved his hand to them, and he raised his arm with his thumbs up. Okay, and CWF Noise and WG Low saw us, and their faces flushed with joy. And these people, they were really waiting with great, excitement to see that that Tenzing Norgay and Edmund Hillary had been successful, because of course there is no way of communicating. They could not communicate, and they were eagerly waiting as to what has happened. Have they reached the top, and are they safe, or has some accident taken place? They had no clue about it. And the moment they see these two, they are so excited, and their faces are just washed with joy. Okay, you could like really see sheer joy on their faces. And this way he was able to tell them of their success. As we got nearer to Camp 8, Low came to meet us and came up about 300 feet with tea and coffee. So they were so excited that one of them, he just ran towards them, and he had tea and coffee with him, and he came ahead to greet them. Another 50 feet down, we met Noise. Now, who is Noise? Here we can see in the picture. Okay, this is Noise. Okay, Wilfred Noise, he is called. Then he brought us tea, and this tea actually smelled kerosene, because we know that here they were amidst the mountain and snow, so they could not really, produce fire. And in order to do so, they needed kerosene. So they used kerosene in order to make fire, and this smell of kerosene could really be felt in the tea that they drank. But apparently, it had been made in such a hurry, and somehow some kerosene might have even got inside the welcome cup, is what he felt. But he thought that the gentleman had taken so much of trouble to bring it, so he was going to enjoy it, whatever the smell. So here, even in the last, some few lines, we can see how thankful and grateful Tenzing Norgay is for every little thing that he experiences in his life, even this small gesture. Okay, now if it would have been someone else, or we would have thought, okay, I have just achieved such a big feat, and this person is giving me a tea which has kerosene smell in it, I'm not going to drink it, or something like that. But Tenzing Norgay did not see. He saw the emotions behind which this person, Noise, had brought the tea to them, and so he just ignored the smell of kerosene, but he gave him that happiness that he was going to drink that tea and be satisfied with it. Okay, so yes, this is how Tenzing Norgay, he narrates his experience about them going on the summit of Mount Everest and then coming back, and his various incidences here. So, yes, this is an article by Tenzing Norgay from Archives of TOI, that is Times of India. So, archives means it's a collection of historical documents or records which are printed, or which have printed information about something. Okay, so this has been printed somewhere in the records of Times of India, and so we have it here in order to be in order to experience. Okay, so this is the advantage of literature. You have something uh, fixed which will help you to get to know the various experiences of great people. Okay, so my dear students, I'm sure you also enjoyed the journey along with Tenzing Norgay throughout these three videos, and I'm really very sure that out of excitement you all have definitely gone through the text. If not, please do read the entire lesson after you see this video, and try to solve the brainstorming section based on your understanding of the lesson. Okay, we will definitely have a video or a Zoom meeting in order to discuss the brainstorming section. But before that, you should have already finished doing your part of solving the exercises over there. Okay, so that when we discuss, then you know exactly how much you have understood, or where you have made mistakes or something like that. So please, dear students, do not take your studies lightly. Please take it seriously, and as I said in your orientation, that take every day as it comes, and do not leave anything or any of your studies for later. Okay, so thank you very much for being part of this wonderful lesson. We will definitely meet soon. Until then, thank you and have a nice day. Yes, yeah, sorry. So before we end, I would like to give you some quotes by these two great people. By Tenzing Norgay, he says, to travel, to experience and learn, that is to live. Of course, yes, when we travel, we experience a lot of things and we learn a lot of things, and that is how we can live our lives to the fullest. Also, Edmund Hillary, he says, people do not decide to become extraordinary. They decide to accomplish extraordinary things. And when you accomplish extraordinary things, my dear students, you automatically become extraordinary. Then again, one of the quotes by Tenzing Norgay, he's also known as the tiger of the snows. Okay. And he says, friends are as important as achievement. Yes, we have seen this in his lesson that we just read, from the past few days. And we've seen how he cherished the friendship with Edmund Hillary. So he says, friends are as important as achievement. Teamwork is the one key to success, and that selfishness only makes a man small. And then Edmund Hillary says, I think it all comes down to motivation. Of course, we all need motivation in our life. If you really want to do something, you will work hard for it. Okay, and you have to be self motivated, my dear students. Do not wait for someone else to motivate you. You have to motivate yourself if you want to become great. And he says it is not the mountains we conquer, but ourselves. All the inhibitions are in our mind, all the limitations are in our mind, and we have to conquer them. Okay. So here is our Tenzing Norgay, who has given us the beautiful narration of their experience. So, yes, thank you, my dear students.